Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I almost said YouTube channel, but I had to post it on Rumble also. So yeah, in case you're watching on Rumble or YouTube, whether you are watching on Rumble or YouTube, whichever one you are watching this on, welcome to my video. Maybe that's what I should start saying. So anyways, it looks like the peaceful protest of 2020 after the George Floyd incident, it looks like that's starting to come back. Or at least trying to come back. After what happened in California. And the mainstream media is calling it peaceful protest, just like they did in 2020. Are people really buying this? How are they calling it peaceful protest? Even back in 2020, they were here calling it peaceful protest when you can see buildings on fire in the background. And even in those videos that they're trying to show peaceful protest, mostly peaceful protest, whilst you can see cars on fire with smoke coming from it. Peaceful protest, mostly peaceful. And also, we're talking about the same people who've been celebrating and encouraging violence for months. Okay? For a month. These people are the violent type. Okay? So, you have the summer of 2020, which apparently they called that the summer of love for some reason. I didn't even know they called it that until recently. And I don't even know why it's called that, unless it's what they're referring to as the summer of love, as in love for all races, because it's supposed to be about injustice for it's supposed to be protesting against the injustice against black people that they're always going through, and George Floyd is the latest victim, and if we don't stop it's gonna be more, so love all races and unity and all that stuff is what they're preaching as they're destroying property, vandalizing property, like setting things on fire and looting and rioting and stuff back in 2020. And now it looks like something is trying to start up again in more recently in California. In the past, couple days? Which is why Trump has called out the National Guards. He's not going to let it escalate to what it did in 2020. And the mainstream media is like, this is not necessary. That's what law enforcement is for. Well, law enforcement wasn't much help in 2020. Now, I didn't see it in any official news report, but I wouldn't be surprised if next thing you know, they start trying to accuse Trump of enforcing martial law with this military. See, here's the thing. See, the last time this happened in December 2020, that was during Trump's that's during the final year of Trump's first term. In fact, that summer, so that was even the last few months. So now that Trump is back, and he still has until 2028, like he's not going to let it get out of hand, like what happened in 2028, and 2020. And also 2020, those riots and stuff, that was also during COVID. Another double standard. Another sign of hypocrisy. So apparently COVID does not spread if you're rioting and looting and vandalizing property and all that stuff, committing all kinds of crimes. So, apparently, because if you look at 2020, because that was during COVID, while everybody else was told to stay home and social distance and going to a big event was spreading the virus. You're gonna kill grandma and all that stuff. Like, that was the narrative back then. And now, after 5 years, they're trying to pull this whole nonsense again about mostly peaceful protest. And I cannot believe that some people are actually falling for it. I haven't checked my Twitter feed today, but I would imagine that I will come across many posts that are buying into that, and I might make a video reacting to it. I'll try to stop at 8 per video, so I can keep the video short, about 12 minutes or so. For some reason, I think when it gets much longer than 15, it starts to cut off a little bit by the time I start the video. That's what's been happening. And the mainstream media is once again framing this as mostly peaceful protest, and Trump is coming against their First Amendment right to protest by releasing the National Guard. Keep in mind, Trump has been in office since January, so here's the thing. When they've already had lots of protesting events this year. And a lot of those, I guess, were pretty much mostly peaceful. And if people haven't noticed, nobody bothered them. I mean, if Trump was the dictator that they made him out to be, then Trump wouldn't have even allowed that. Actual peaceful protest when they was actually happening. Because I think there were some forms of protest, people protesting Trump that actually were pretty much peaceful, or some were somewhat peaceful. They didn't get too out of control. But then you have these riots, like people vandalizing Tesla property, accusing Elon Musk of being a Nazi, still pushing that Nazi salute narrative. He was saying, "My heart goes out to you." That's how I was saying. And I think even more recently, a video came out of somebody else on the Democrat side. I forget the guy's name. Also doing "My heart goes out to you," and nothing, because that guy is a leftist. He's on the Democrat side. So when he does it, he's doing "My heart goes out to you." When Elon does it, he's doing a Nazi salute. That's the double standard. So yeah. So they're still trying to push that narrative. And they're still trying to push the narrative that it's a mostly peaceful protest. Again, if you look at go back to the summer of 2020, you can see buildings on fire in the background as they are saying that this is a mostly peaceful protest. And in this one that just happened, you can see a car on fire. While they are claiming that this is a mostly peaceful protest, they're trying to say that, well, this is what the police is for. Well, apparently, the police weren't much help during the summer of 2020. Also, Boulder, Colorado, isn't that Colorado is a blue state, and I think Boulder, Colorado is a blue city, isn't it? Police weren't much help against that incident. And California is also a blue state, and I believe that's also a blue city. So, yeah, to try to say, well, that's what the police is for. We get the police are doing that because these people, okay, this is basically trying to protest against deportation, against ICE. And these are the same people that has regularly called for violence against Trump. They called for Trump's assassination. They called for violence against MAGA. They've called for Elon Musk to be assassinated. They're posting memes on Twitter and maybe like on social media depicting Trump's death. They're posting memes on social media that shows Trump in a coffin. Or they're posting stuff on Twitter that's of them basically saying, but when will Trump just die already? That's what these guys are saying. And then they're also posting stuff, 8647. They're posting that kind of stuff. They celebrated the assassination of a United Healthcare CEO. They vandalized Tesla property. And I believe at some of those protests, they even had signs, 8647. And right after the 2024 election, many of these people were making TikTok videos, openly calling for Trump to be assassinated. They already spoke violently, come out violently against Trump. They came out against ICE, against deportation. They want open borders, like completely open borders with absolutely just let everybody and anybody in. We don't care who they are. That's the kind of stuff that these people have been doing. And then when Trump has to get the what is it, is it the military or no, National Guards, yeah. When Trump has to get the National Guard involved, they almost act like Trump is declaring martial law or something. Now they've not outright said that yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they at some point do, like if they haven't already. So to the best of my knowledge, that's I've seen, they have not officially said that. But they have said that the National Guard is unnecessary. The governor of California, who is anti-Trump, who is probably against ICE, has not asked for the National Guard. And well, of course, somebody who is against deportation, who spoke against Trump, who has spoke against ICE, of course, they're not going to want the National Guard there. Of course, someone like that. So, the fact that the governor of California doesn't want National Guard there, it doesn't prove anything. And again, they keep saying, well, that's what the police is for. And they're talking, well, only minor incidents of violence. That's what the police is for. Please, these protesters, they go over there, and many of them try to start something with the police. Then they play victim when the consequences happen. Okay? So, yeah. So these guys are protesting against deportation. They're protesting ICE. They're standing against Trump. They're basically comparing Trump to Hitler with this right here. It is insane. And the problem with letting in anybody and everybody is you don't know who you're letting into the country. Okay? Not everybody who comes to this country is seeking asylum. Not everybody who's come to this country is fleeing danger. Some people are coming to this country are dangerous criminals. And, but, we can let everybody and anybody into this country. You don't know who you let in, if they're dangerous criminals, and you know that many of them are. And so it's this right here is dangerous. And so far, I think Trump is trying to prevent a repeat of the summer of 2020 with the National Guard. Because in 2020, the police did nothing in those states. They didn't do anything. Well, at least not much. And these newscasters are trying to, that's what the police is for. We don't need the National Guard. I mean, the next thing you know, I wouldn't be surprised if these people could start using this as proof that, Trump has declared martial law in California. And I believe I saw something about California wanting to become an independent nation of its own, but I have to look more into that, and that's going to have to be a whole separate video if I find anything deep about that, but I think it's just rumors, and I'm not sure how they would do that, to be honest. So, yeah, that is it for this video. Bye.